Hey, we're down here at PennWest, and we're going to be walking another family through the factory. So as always, just really cool to walk through this process and see how these homes are built so efficiently and quickly in a completely dry and controlled environment. So let's walk through together.
So this kind of gives you a bird's eye view of the plant. Everything starts over here in the flooring section, and then they move from there over to here, down the line, across what we call the street, and then back up, and then out final finish. While they're building the floor over here, we have guys over here building partition walls, and over on those tables we have guys building exterior walls and mate walls. Back behind that is where they have roof built. So that's all taking place at the same time as they're building the floor. And then once they move the floor over, they'll start setting the interior partition walls, set the exterior walls, set the roof. And then from there, it's a lot of drywall finish work until it moves over. And about halfway down there, then they'll start putting in flooring, cabinets, and trim. They'll run the ductwork. You can see the ductwork is hanging below the floor joist there. And then this comes up, and that'll be a heat duct crossover from where it'll cross from one half to the other.
Gotcha.
They'll lay out the OSB. They'll go and cut all the duct cutouts and everything in the OSB, furnace location, plumbing locations. They even will run the water lines. You can see those in there. Electrical in the flooring. Put the decking down. They'll sand the floor after the decking's down. Then they'll put the roll goods on it. If there's no roll goods, they'll cover with plastic, the OSB. So as they're doing drywall and the mud and stuff is falling off of it, they can pick the plastic up and all that stuff comes off the floor.
It's efficient,
a lot
right
cleaner.
there. It's almost like you've done this before.
A few times. So you can see we have 2 floor jigs, so they can build 2 floors at one time. That floor there is finished. It's raised up. This floor is finished. So when this one moves out, that one will move over here and then start the process. A little bit different from site-built construction. We basically build the house from the inside out versus the outside in. We don't have to worry about weather, the house getting wet, snow, that type of stuff. So it allows us to do a lot of things that a stick builder can't do by sealing up wall penetrations in your drywall, stuff like that, before we put the insulation in. So the floor decking is glued and nailed. The drywall is glued. When they build it on the jig, they lay the drywall down. You can see right here. So what they'll do before that drywall comes down, they'll put the adhesive on there, and then they'll drop the drywall on it. And then they'll go around and they'll cut out any window openings or door openings in it. And then they'll put some mechanical fasteners in around the perimeter and around doorway openings. But we try to eliminate as many mechanical fasteners as possible. Then you don't end up with a lot of nail pops and things like that. We use up a lot of scrap OSB and lumber for bracing in the walls for cabinets, when you're mounting cabinets, closet shelving, things like that. Typical modular has about 30% more lumber in it than a site-built house, because we're building this house to be able to be picked up by a crane. You got to get the structure to set on a carrier, ship it down the highway, pick it up with a crane again, set it back down. There's a lot of wood and structure that goes into it, a lot of engineering that goes into it versus a site-built house.
Yeah, exactly.
This is another table where they build exterior walls, or what we call the mate wall, the walls that come together between the house. So as they're moving down this direction, they're actually reversed. So the front half of the house we call the A box, and then the back half we call the B box. But right now the B box is in front of the A box. And then once they cross over, they'll switch back over and then come down together. So from start to finish, once we build the floor till the time it goes out the door, it's about 7 days to build a house.
That's the same time as site build, right? I think 7 days, right? It's usually.
So right now, basically, they're running the wires, they're getting the insulation on it. The back panelers will start going through and putting the back panel and the drywall on after they get the electrical and plumbing in the walls where they need to be. And then they'll get ready for the roof to the ceiling. So the ceiling's built back here in a jig. It's lifted up, and then we have 2 pits up there where they finish the drywall and the ceiling. Once it's complete, then that big hoist up there will pick up the ceiling, and it'll bring it all the way across and set it down on top of the box. And then once the ceiling's on, see right here, they'll insulate the ceiling, they'll run any wires, any light fixtures in the ceiling, and then they'll put the OSB sheathing on it, they'll put the synthetic felt down, and then they'll put the shingles on. Get the plastic on it, so it can be ready to be wrapped when it's finished to transport down the road. This is our ceiling jig. We have 2 of these. They can build 2 ceilings at a time. They basically lay the drywall on the table, and then they lay all the roof trusses on there. They foam seal the roof trusses onto the drywall, so there's no mechanical fasteners in your ceiling drywall. And then they'll pick that up and move it up here when then they finish the drywall. In this station here, they'll start putting the exterior OSB sheathing on it. We do OSB the whole exterior of the house, and then we do 2 rows of OSB down the main line. The 2 halves come together. So in the center of your house, you got 2 2x4 walls with OSB on them coming together to sandwich and giving you basically like a 10-inch wall right down the middle of your house. And then that will have LVL headers in it depending on the openings and the spans that you have to carry the loads and those types of things. They call it 7D. They're in Hollidaysburg, which is down by Altoona, Pennsylvania. All the vinyl extrusion comes out of a small town right outside of Pittsburgh. It's all over the source. They get their own glass in, or black. Instead of it being a painted finish, it's actually a laminated finish, so it's much more durable than paint. So if you were looking at the black finish, we do have that available, or we can do clay or white. They're all double hung, low E, argon filled, high efficiency windows. Then you can kind of see here, now they're starting to even finish the drywall. So from here, where we're going to build, that's basically what's happening is, the siding will start going on this, and then it's a lot of drywall finish from here. The crossover, so that's reinforced with those steel bars on there. And then we also will put pick points in. So right here you can see this is already pre-drilled. There's a sleeve in there. That's where they'll run the cable through that they'll use to pick the house up with the crane and set it on the foundation. Here you can see this one has the belts on it. They'll be shingling that. They'll put the drip edge on. They'll put the soffit fascia on the overhang. And then the overhang will flip up onto the roof for shipment, like you can see over there. Yeah. Time for the earplug. This is our cabinet shop. When this plant was originally built, this was the end of the plant. These were doors that went outside. And the cabinet shop used to be up there, up on that upper mezzanine up there. And then in 2011, I believe, they added this on. And so they blew this wall out, added all this on. We moved the cabinet shop out here. We have the CNC machine back there. It cuts all the cabinet panels. Yeah. So they feed the program in, it cuts everything out, and then our guys assemble the cabinets. We buy the doors pre-finished and the styles pre-finished, and then we assemble the cabinets here. And then every year we take our cabinets and we send them to KCMA. They're the Kitchen Cabinet Manufacturers Association. They put our cabinets through the same testing that any store-bought cabinet you buy, a Merillat or Craftmate, anything like that, and they certify it. So it goes through the same testing. The doors have to be closed, drawers filled, all that stuff. We'll be starting to do painting, or what we call a prime finish. So they go through and they do a spray coat, and then they come back through and they back roll it. So it's like a 2-coat primer finish on the drywall. They'll put the cabinets in, they'll put the countertops in. The countertops are manufactured up here on our countertop shop. We also offer quartz. We have a local quartz company. What they'll do is once we get the house done, they'll come in, they'll template the kitchen or wherever you're putting the quartz. They go back, they manufacture the tops, and then they bring them back out and install them. And once that's in, over here you can see they got the flooring in. So this half leads to this half. So we installed that flooring at the factory, and that's LVP, and then that'll be installed and finished across the mate line once we get it on site. They'll take these hoists, and these are computer synchronized. We charge them every night, so they're cordless, and once they sync them together, they'll hit a button on there and they'll lift the whole thing up simultaneously, versus having 8 guys standing around with a jack manually. They can do it in sync. They'll lift it up, and then whatever plumbing or anything they have to tie in underneath or ductwork, they'll finish that. They'll do the electrical test. They'll do the any plumbing test that they need to do, and then they back the carrier in underneath it, drop it back down in the carrier, lag it, pull it over here, and then final finish. Depending on the house that you get, they're 80 to 90% complete.
What's this they're feeding through here?
That right there?
Yeah.
So that's actually the foam gasket that we put on. So that gets nailed on, and then whenever you bring the two halves together, that helps seal it.
Okay.
But most guys, and probably you guys probably do the same thing, go around and foam it anyhow.
Yeah.
The spray foam.
Right. So that wraps up our factory tour. We got to hear from the great Terry Schmader. Yeah, we got a great tour today through the factory. Got to hear a lot of really amazing things about Modular. I was talking to the homeowners that we walked through. Just, you know, what was so great. The guy that we're going to be building for just said, I mean, really everything. So he'd been a part of site build before, and he's like, you know, it's the same, but it's somehow completely different at the same time. And he was just totally amazed through the whole thing. It's just it's a great thing to be able to come down to the factory and visit. Feel free to reach out to us about your building project. Any questions you have about building, you can leave comments in the comment section below. You can reach out to us directly about what you're thinking about, and we can talk through it and have a conversation and figure out how we can help you with your building project. Thanks again for watching.